Have you ever wondered what happens to your body, mind, and emotions as you age, and how something as personal as self-pleasure could impact your well-being in later life? Society often avoids these conversations, leaving many unanswered questions and lingering misconceptions about sexuality in older adulthood. But the truth is, this topic is far more important than most realize. In this video, we'll explore the physical, emotional, and psychological impacts of masturbation on elderly individuals. You'll discover how it can improve circulation, reduce stress, promote better sleep, and even enhance self-esteem, all vital for a fulfilling life as you age. But it's not just about the benefits. We'll also debunk harmful myths, address common challenges like hormonal shifts and physical limitations, and show you how self-pleasure can be a powerful tool for reclaiming autonomy and joy. By watching until the end, you'll gain valuable insights into how aging affects intimacy, why sexual well-being is a crucial part of health, and how self-care practices like masturbation can foster emotional balance and physical vitality. Whether you're navigating these changes yourself or supporting a loved one, this video is packed with practical advice and empowering perspectives. Stay with us to learn how to embrace this natural aspect of life with confidence, overcome stigma, and unlock new ways to nurture your body, mind, and soul. Let's break the silence, dispel the shame, and celebrate the resilience of the human spirit at every age. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. As we journey through the inevitable passage of time, the importance of safeguarding our well-being, both physical and emotional, becomes more apparent with each passing year. The later stages of life usher in a multitude of changes, many of which we cannot avoid. Our bodies may slow down, our energy levels may fluctuate unpredictably, and the emotional and psychological needs we experience evolve in ways we never anticipated. Yet, amid these transformations, one aspect of well-being often remains hidden or dismissed: our sexuality, and specifically the practice of masturbation. While some may consider it unnecessary or even taboo for older adults, such an outlook fails to recognize the profound and irreplaceable role that self-pleasure plays in the lives of seniors. Upon deeper reflection, it becomes increasingly clear that masturbation in later years offers more than mere physical release. It holds the potential to enrich one's life in ways that extend far beyond surface-level gratification. In this exploration, we will uncover the vast, yet often overlooked, significance of self-pleasure for older adults. We will confront the deeply ingrained myths surrounding sexuality in our later years, and debunk the misconceptions that frame intimacy and pleasure as being only for the young. By peeling back these layers, we'll reveal the truth. Masturbation can provide not just physical relief, but also a vital connection to one's body and emotions, serving as a powerful tool for well-being. This conversation is particularly relevant for those embracing the second half of life, when the body undergoes profound transformations and emotional perspectives shift in ways we might not have anticipated. Too often, society associates sexual desire and the act of self-pleasure with youth, viewing them as privileges that gradually fade with age. But the reality is far different. The energy for intimacy, the yearning for connection, and the desire for pleasure do not vanish with time. They evolve, and in many ways, they can become even more important as we grow older. Sexuality, in its truest sense, is an enduring part of the human experience, and masturbation serves as a natural, healthy, and vital expression of this ongoing sexuality. For older adults, it is not merely about seeking pleasure for its own sake, but about nurturing a connection to oneself that nourishes both the mind and the body, empowering them to feel alive, vital, and connected. Masturbation in later years is not limited to physical release alone. It serves as a crucial component in maintaining holistic health and emotional well-being. Research indicates that sexual activity, whether with a partner or through self-pleasure, can help improve circulation, reduce stress, enhance sleep quality, and even fortify the immune system. For older adults, these benefits are incredibly important, particularly in the face of the natural stresses and challenges that come with aging. Stress management and physical health take on even greater significance in this stage of life, and masturbation offers a gentle but effective way to promote both. Moreover, regular engagement in sexual activity, including masturbation, supports a sense of sexual vitality, helping individuals maintain sexual function and arousal that, in turn, fosters a renewed sense of empowerment and self-assurance. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. However, the emotional benefits of masturbation are just as powerful, especially for those navigating the complex emotional landscape of later life. The practice of self-pleasure can provide a deep sense of comfort, relaxation, and personal affirmation, particularly for individuals who are struggling with feelings of loneliness, isolation, or depression. For many older adults, the experience of aging can be accompanied by a sense of invisibility or diminished self-worth, especially as society frequently marginalizes older individuals' sexual desires. In these moments, masturbation offers a private, intimate form of self-connection that can reignite a sense of self-love, boosting self-esteem and fostering a more positive body image. It is not just a physical act, it is a reclamation of one's sexuality, an act of self-affirmation that allows individuals to preserve a sense of autonomy, dignity, and joy, even as they age. In conclusion, masturbation is far more than a mere act of physical pleasure. For older adults, it is a pathway to maintaining physical health, emotional balance, and a renewed connection to their bodies and desires. It serves as a reminder that our sexuality is a lifelong companion, one that evolves, adapts, and remains a powerful force for joy, comfort, and connection, regardless of age. By embracing this intimate practice, older adults can continue to live vibrant, empowered lives, filled with self-love and personal fulfillment. As we grow older, the physical changes that accompany aging, such as hormonal fluctuations, diminished libido, erectile dysfunction, and vaginal dryness, can significantly complicate the sexual experiences of some individuals. These changes often come with feelings of disconnection, shame, or confusion about one's sexual identity. For many, there is a painful sense of losing touch with a vital part of themselves, a sense that desires are no longer valid or worth pursuing. The discomfort that arises from these challenges can feel overwhelming, leading some to wonder if the joy and intimacy that sex once brought are now out of reach. But the truth, though often unspoken, is that these physical changes do not need to define or limit sexual fulfillment. Through careful lifestyle adjustments, medical interventions, and thoughtful exploration of new techniques, these issues can be managed and even overcome. The use of lubricants or medications designed to ease discomfort can help maintain a fulfilling sexual experience, allowing individuals to reclaim their sensuality and pleasure, regardless of age. The key is to understand that while aging brings its challenges, it does not erase the possibility for deep, passionate, and meaningful sexual experiences, including masturbation. However, despite the tangible benefits of maintaining intimacy as we age, pervasive myths and stigmas continue to cloud the conversation surrounding sex in older adulthood. Society, for generations, has perpetuated the notion that sexual desire diminishes with age, creating an unspoken shame for those who continue to yearn for connection and pleasure. This deeply ingrained belief often leaves older individuals feeling embarrassed, isolated, or inadequate, especially when they still seek out intimate experiences. Masturbation, in particular, becomes a battleground for this shame, a practice that, for many, holds great significance beyond mere physical gratification. For older adults, masturbation is not simply an act of self-pleasure, but one of empowerment and self-discovery. It is a reclaiming of one's body, a declaration that joy, intimacy, and self-love are not confined by the number of years one has lived. It serves as a reminder that our capacity to experience joy and pleasure is not bound by age and that we remain entitled to our desires, no matter how society views them. Yet, while embracing this form of self-love, it's crucial to recognize that our emotional well-being is intricately tied to the relationships we cultivate throughout our lives, connections that nourish our hearts and keep our spirits vibrant. True fulfillment in life comes not only from understanding and accepting ourselves, but from being seen, loved, and cherished by others. As we journey through life, the bonds of love and companionship, whether shared with family, friends, or a partner, remain an irreplaceable source of joy and meaning. These bonds are reminders that, while self-pleasure is an important and deeply affirming act, the human heart thrives most when nurtured through love and mutual connection. Masturbation, in this context, can serve as an invaluable tool for self-care, helping to heal, restore, and nurture a positive relationship with one's body as the years pass. It creates a safe space for older individuals to experience pleasure and intimacy on their terms, ensuring that autonomy and self-respect remain central to their experience of aging. However, as with any form of self-care, balance is key. Masturbation should be incorporated into a holistic approach to well-being, one that also prioritizes emotional health, social connections, and physical fitness. When approached mindfully and in moderation, it can yield immense benefits, from improving mood and sleep quality to reducing stress and promoting overall sexual health. Research consistently shows that when practiced with balance, masturbation is not only safe but can be incredibly beneficial for older adults, enhancing both physical and emotional well-being. Yet, like any activity, when it becomes excessive, masturbation may lead to unintended physical, emotional, or social challenges. Excessive self-stimulation, especially if it becomes compulsive, can deeply affect one's quality of life, leaving emotional and physical fatigue in its wake. As we age, our bodies naturally begin to conserve energy, and demanding activities can lead to feelings of exhaustion and depletion. Overindulging in masturbation may result in a sense of lethargy, making it more difficult to engage in other essential aspects of life. Maintaining an active lifestyle, connecting with loved ones, or pursuing hobbies that nourish the mind and spirit. The challenge, then, is finding the right balance, using masturbation as a means of self-empowerment and joy, but ensuring that it doesn't take away from the vibrant and fulfilling life one deserves. This issue is especially distressing because remaining physically active is essential to preserving not only mobility and balance but also cardiovascular health as we age. The idea that older adults are no longer interested in or deserving of sexual fulfillment is not only outdated but dangerously misguided. These harmful stereotypes undermine essential conversations about sexual health for seniors and, worse still, discourage them from engaging in activities that could significantly enrich their quality of life. The reality is that older adults, just like people of any age, have a fundamental right to experience pleasure, intimacy, and connection, both with others and with themselves. Unfortunately, society's stigma around the sexuality of older adults, especially when it comes to masturbation, thrives in an environment of silence and avoidance. Many cultures tend to shy away from open discussions of sexual health and desire, particularly when it involves the elderly, leaving these individuals to carry the weight of isolation and shame. This creates a painful sense of alienation for those who continue to desire sexual expression, denying them the joy, self-discovery, and satisfaction they so rightfully deserve. This silence surrounding the sexual well-being of older adults creates a significant barrier that prevents them from seeking the information, support, or medical care they may need to maintain a healthy and fulfilling sexual life. While the positive benefits of masturbation for older adults are well established, it's crucial to understand that, like any activity, it should be approached with awareness and care. Excessive or compulsive masturbation, especially when it begins to interfere with daily life, responsibilities, relationships, or emotional stability, can be a red flag indicating deeper emotional issues like distress, loneliness, or even addiction. In such cases, seeking the guidance of a healthcare professional or therapist becomes essential. It's important to remember that balance is the foundation of health in every aspect of life. We stand firm in challenging the outdated stereotypes and misconceptions surrounding sexuality and masturbation in later years. Sexuality is an intrinsic part of the human experience, and self-pleasure remains a natural, healthy outlet for nurturing that vital aspect of who we are, regardless of age. For older adults, masturbation serves not only as a way to maintain physical health but also as a powerful tool for emotional well-being. It allows individuals to keep a deep connection with their bodies, helping them feel more grounded and in tune with themselves. Masturbation, particularly in later years, is not simply an act of seeking pleasure. It is an affirmation of one's worth, a gesture of self-love, and a form of maintaining one's vitality and health. It's an act that signifies independence and personal strength, reminding individuals that they remain fully capable of experiencing pleasure, intimacy, and joy, even as they age. At its core, masturbation is a deeply personal, intimate act that transcends simple pleasure. It is a way for individuals to connect with their bodies, to relieve stress, to find solace, and to experience joy in the stillness of solitude. For many, it becomes an expression of autonomy, a way to reclaim agency over one's own body and pleasure in a time of life when other aspects may feel increasingly uncertain or beyond control. In youth, masturbation often carries with it the weight of curiosity, self-exploration, and external expectations, an avenue of discovery and identity. But as we enter the later chapters of life, the significance of this act shifts profoundly. No longer driven by the need for performance or experimentation, masturbation becomes an act of pure self-affirmation. It is a ritual of self-fulfillment, a moment of intimacy that is uniquely and profoundly one's own. It becomes less about seeking external validation, societal approval, or striving to meet unrealistic standards of beauty, stamina, or ability, and more about being present at the moment and embracing one's pleasure, free from the weight of outside pressures. It becomes a sacred private space where one can simply be, fully and unapologetically. As we age, our bodies undergo natural, inevitable changes that can have a profound impact on our sexual desire and function. Shifts in hormones, particularly the decline in testosterone and estrogen levels, may result in decreased sexual drive and frequency. This can lead many to wrongly assume that their sexual lives are over, but such thinking overlooks a crucial truth. While the frequency or intensity of desire may change, the capacity for pleasure is far from lost. Masturbation often assumes an even more significant role later in life, providing individuals the opportunity to reconnect with their bodies, explore new sensations, and adapt to the changes that come with age. The potential for pleasure, intimacy with oneself, and self-discovery remain vibrant, transformative, and essential at every stage of life. One of the most profound and beautiful aspects of masturbation in older age is the immense and deeply transformative freedom it offers. An invitation to explore one's sexuality in a way that is unburdened, personal, and intimately connected to one's body. It is a sanctuary where the weight of societal expectations and pressures fades into the background, replaced with a quiet yet powerful sense of self-empowerment. Unlike partnered sex, which particularly in youth and middle age, often comes with a heavy burden of performance, appearance, and the need to satisfy a partner, masturbation in older age becomes a deeply intimate act of self-expression. For years, sexual experiences can be laden with fears of not measuring up, whether it's physical appearance, performance expectations, or fulfilling the desires of others. But as we age and those external judgments begin to lessen or disappear entirely, we experience a unique freedom to embrace our sexual selves in the way that feels most natural, most satisfying, and most comforting. The beauty of masturbation at this stage of life is that it is not about meeting anyone else's needs or expectations. It is simply about experiencing pleasure on one's terms. For many older adults, masturbation evolves into a liberating ritual, a private, sacred space where they can explore and connect with their desires in ways that feel comfortable and fulfilling. It is a way to experience the kind of sexual freedom that doesn't come with the risks of rejection, judgment, or the pressure to conform to someone else's idea of what sex should be. The act of masturbation, for many, becomes a haven, a place of solace where they can touch base with themselves, reconnect with their bodies, and honor the changes that come with aging. It offers a pathway to staying attuned to the sensations of one's body. Sensations that may shift over the years but that still hold incredible potential for pleasure, connection, and even joy. The beautiful part of masturbation in older age is that it allows individuals to explore the boundaries of their pleasure, to learn what feels good, to experiment without fear, and perhaps most importantly, to find comfort and solace in their skin. It becomes a practice that is far removed from the intense pressures often placed on sexuality in youth and middle age, creating an environment where self-pleasure is not just an act of gratification but an act of self-love, nurturing, and acceptance. This sense of freedom is profoundly empowering. As the body changes with time, masturbation provides a powerful tool for maintaining sexual vitality and agency, an essential connection to one's sense of sexual self. When we are young, we often take our bodies for granted, rushing through life with little thought to how we feel or how our bodies react. But as we age, we become more in tune with ourselves, more in touch with the shifts and changes that take place in our physical forms. Masturbation becomes a way to honor those changes, not as something to be feared or avoided, but as a natural part of the human experience. It is a celebration of the body in its many stages and forms, a recognition that pleasure does not fade with age, but rather transforms and evolves into something different, deeper, and often more meaningful. The act of self-pleasure becomes a reaffirmation of one's sexuality, a way to assert ownership over one's body at a time when so much else in life can feel out of our control. For many older adults, masturbation offers a sense of autonomy and control that is often hard to find as we age. Aging can bring with it a sense of vulnerability, loss of mobility, changes in physical health, and a growing dependence on others for assistance with everyday tasks. In a world that often prioritizes youth and physical fitness, the ability to still find joy and pleasure in one's body can be incredibly empowering. The act of masturbation becomes not just a moment of physical release but a deeply affirming reminder that, even in the face of aging, we still possess the power to create intimacy, pleasure, and connection on our terms. It is a private celebration of the strength and resilience of the body. A way of saying, I am still here, I still matter, and my pleasure is still valid. In this way, masturbation in older age becomes more than just an act of self-pleasure. It is an act of defiance against the notion that we lose our value as we age, a reclaiming of our bodies in a world that often neglects the sexual needs and desires of older adults. Moreover, masturbation provides a deeply personal and powerful way to affirm one's self-worth, particularly for older adults who may struggle with feelings of invisibility or marginalization. In societies that often view sexual desire as something that is only valid for the young, older adults can feel left behind or as if their sexual desires are no longer legitimate. The freedom to engage in masturbation, however, provides a powerful rebuttal to this damaging narrative. It reaffirms that sexuality is a lifelong journey, that desire does not fade with age, and that intimacy is not a privilege reserved only for the young or physically perfect. It challenges the stigma that often surrounds aging and sexual health, asserting that older adults are just as worthy of experiencing pleasure and connection as anyone else. It is an essential, dignified acknowledgement that sexual health and intimacy are not confined to one stage of life but are lifelong pursuits that deserve attention, care, and respect. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Unfortunately, the dominant societal mindset often equates sexual pleasure with youth, leaving older adults to feel that their desires and experiences are no longer relevant. This mindset can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and confusion, making people feel as though they are no longer entitled to sexual pleasure simply because they have aged. The narrative that sexual pleasure is only for the young is a harmful myth that marginalizes older adults and creates an unhealthy silence around the topic of sexual well-being in later life. This needs to change. The conversation around sexual pleasure must shift to reflect a more inclusive, compassionate understanding. One that acknowledges the ongoing relevance and importance of intimacy, desire, and self-pleasure throughout the entire course of life. The idea that sexuality has an expiration date is not only misleading, but it also perpetuates harmful societal norms that stifle the natural, human right to experience joy and connection. It is time to challenge these outdated beliefs and move towards a more inclusive perspective, one that celebrates the richness and complexity of sexual health at every age. Sexual pleasure and intimacy should not be seen as the sole domain of the young, but as a fundamental human right that is valid throughout all stages of life. By embracing masturbation as a valid, empowering, and healthy practice for older adults, we can dismantle the stigma that surrounds sexual desire in later life and create a culture that celebrates sexual health for everyone. When we normalize and affirm sexual well-being for older adults, we encourage a sense of empowerment, self-acceptance, and connection that is crucial for fostering an enriched and fulfilled life. Older adults deserve to feel proud of their bodies, to engage in intimacy without shame, and to experience the joy and fulfillment that comes with owning their pleasure. By fostering an environment that embraces this new narrative, one of sexual liberation, self-empowerment, and inclusivity, we can create a society where age is no longer a barrier to intimacy. It is time for a cultural shift that allows people to continue exploring their desires, pleasures, and intimate connections with confidence and without fear of judgment. This shift will not only improve sexual health but will enrich lives, allowing older adults to experience the full, vibrant range of human intimacy and connection at every age. The pleasures of life are not limited by age, and by embracing that truth, we empower individuals to live fully and joyously in their bodies, regardless of the number of years they've lived. Regular self-pleasure is so much more than a simple physical act. It is a deeply transformative, life-affirming ritual that nourishes both the body and the soul. At its core, self-pleasure plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy circulation and ensuring optimal tissue function, 2 factors that are vital in preserving sexual health and intimate pleasure as we grow older. But the importance of this act transcends the physical realm. It carries an emotional and psychological significance that cannot be overlooked. In a world that often burdens us with stress, anxiety, and the weight of life's challenges, self-pleasure offers profound and much-needed relief. It is a balm for the weary heart, a gentle escape from the pressures of aging and the complexities of life. The emotional benefits are immense. It offers a surge of positivity, lifting our spirits and bringing light to our days. It provides a comforting sense of ease and relaxation, a moment of peace amidst the whirlwind of aging-related struggles. Moreover, masturbation becomes more than just an outlet for physical pleasure. It evolves into an intimate act of self-empowerment and autonomy. It serves as a quiet but powerful reminder that, despite the many changes life may throw our way, the ability to experience joy, pleasure, and connection remains firmly within our control. In the face of life's inevitable transformations, we can still claim mastery over our bodies and desires. It is an act that speaks directly to the heart of the human experience, one that exudes resilience, determination, and an unshakable will to continue seeking joy, even in solitude. There is something profoundly beautiful about self-pleasure, especially as we enter our later years. It is a testament to the unwavering strength of the human spirit, to our deep-seated desire for connection, intimacy, and the simple joys of life, regardless of the stage we are in. It is a powerful symbol that pleasure, in all its many forms, is not a fleeting gift meant solely for the young. Instead, it is something that transforms with us, deepening and evolving as we age, and continues to bring us fulfillment and vitality throughout the entirety of our lives. The act of masturbation in old age becomes a form of self-affirmation, proof that our capacity for pleasure does not fade with time. As we grow older, we often come to realize that many of the things we once thought were fleeting or reserved for the youth are, in fact, still within our reach. The beauty of self-pleasure is that it teaches us that joy, love, and connection do not belong to any one age group, but are available to us all. Just as our needs and desires change with time, so does our experience of pleasure. Yet, the very essence of that pleasure, the emotional, mental, and physical satisfaction, remains as vital as ever. Self-pleasure thus becomes a sacred act of self-care, a moment where we honor our bodies and all they continue to offer, despite the passing years. Masturbation is not a frivolous, insignificant activity. Rather, it is a lifelong practice with the potential to heal, comfort, and nurture us in ways that many may not fully appreciate. As we begin to reassess what it truly means to age and how we should embrace the inevitable changes that accompany growing older, it becomes clear that we must also reconsider our perceptions of sexuality. It is time to view masturbation not as something shameful or indulgent, but as an integral, essential part of both our physical and emotional well-being. It is through this act that we remain connected to our bodies, celebrating our inherent capacity for pleasure, and finding comfort in the intimacy we share with ourselves. It is an affirmation that we are still worthy of pleasure, still deserving of love, and still capable of joy, even in the later years of life. This shift in perspective can open up new avenues for self-care and emotional growth, allowing individuals to rediscover their sense of autonomy and self-worth. Whether or not one chooses to engage in self-pleasure in the later years is, of course, a deeply personal decision. But by fostering open, compassionate conversations around this topic, we create a space where older individuals are empowered to make choices that honor their desires and needs. In this open space, we give them the freedom to reclaim their right to pleasure, to experience their bodies with love and acceptance, and to feel that they are not excluded from the joys of intimacy simply because of their age. Pleasure, in all its many forms, does not come with an expiration date. It does not vanish with the passage of years, nor does it fade as we enter different stages of life. Rather, it evolves, adapts, and takes on new, beautiful forms as we age. As we grow older, our desires may shift, but the human ability to seek joy, connection, and self-expression remains an indomitable force within us, always accessible, always waiting to be rediscovered. When we consider the profound effects that masturbation can have on older individuals, it becomes clear that its physical and psychological benefits extend far beyond the realms of mere pleasure. One of the most immediate and tangible effects of self-pleasure, especially for those in their later years, is the relief it provides from tension and discomfort. Aging often brings with it a range of physical ailments, joint pain, muscle tension, and various discomforts that can significantly affect an individual's quality of life. In this context, masturbation serves as a form of gentle release, easing these physical burdens and offering respite from the discomforts that can weigh us down. But the benefits are not just physical. Regular self-pleasure can improve sleep quality, an essential aspect of health and well-being for older adults. Sleep, as we all know, is vital for the body's ability to heal, restore energy, and regulate emotions. For older individuals, the importance of restful sleep only grows. The soothing, comforting release that comes with self-pleasure can be the key to transforming restless nights into deep, restorative slumbers. These restorative moments are vital for maintaining mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall vitality. As we age, our bodies and minds require more time to restore and recharge. The release that comes with masturbation helps create the mental and physical space for this process, allowing individuals to wake up feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to embrace the new day. In this sense, masturbation is not just a means of experiencing pleasure. It is an important aspect of maintaining overall health and well-being. It is a subtle, yet vital form of self-care that nourishes both the body and the spirit, offering much-needed comfort and balance in the later years of life. It is a quiet affirmation of life's enduring potential for joy and connection, no matter how many years have passed. Masturbation, often a subject wrapped in stigma and overlooked in discussions surrounding aging, offers profound emotional, psychological, and physical benefits for older adults. In the later stages of life, when many experience a growing sense of physical limitation or a detachment from the body they once knew intimately, The act of self-pleasure provides not just a fleeting moment of relief, but a significant source of empowerment and healing. This intimate act helps rekindle a deep connection with one's body, offering a profound sense of comfort in one's skin. As the body ages, it often becomes harder to feel the same sense of vitality we once took for granted, but masturbation acts as a reminder that the ability to experience pleasure doesn't fade away, it transforms. For older adults, this act can serve as a sanctuary, a place to find solace and reaffirmation that they are still worthy of joy, affection, and well-being, despite the inevitable changes that come with the passing years. In a society that often equates aging with decline, frailty, and invisibility, masturbation becomes a quiet yet profound act of resistance. It helps redefine the narrative of aging, not as a period of loss or irrelevance, but as one of possibility and renewed self-awareness. The experience of pleasure, particularly in the context of one's own body, offers a vital counterpoint to feelings of isolation or physical discomfort that so often accompany growing older. As health challenges arise, and as the world at large sometimes marginalizes the elderly, masturbation offers a private, personal space to reconnect with one's physicality in a way that affirms the power of self-worth. It is not a denial of aging, but a celebration of the enduring capacity for joy and pleasure, even when the body feels different or less capable than it once did. This is especially powerful at a time when many older adults may feel as though their bodies are betraying them. But masturbation serves as a gentle but firm reminder that their bodies, despite their changes, are still vibrant, capable of immense joy, and deserving of love. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For many older adults, the experience of aging can foster a complex relationship with their bodies, one marked by frustration, disappointment, and sometimes even shame. The physical changes that come with age, reduced stamina, creaking joints, and the inevitable decline in sexual function, can make individuals feel disconnected from themselves, as though their bodies are no longer a source of pleasure or vitality. When health issues arise, or societal stereotypes paint aging as a time of inevitable decline, it's easy to internalize these ideas and begin to view one's body as something to be hidden, ashamed of, or even disregarded. But masturbation offers an invaluable opportunity to reverse this deeply entrenched narrative. Instead of a body defined by frailty, older adults can rediscover their physical selves as sources of immense pleasure and empowerment. In moments of self-pleasure, the body becomes a site of personal connection, a place to affirm that one's value is not tied to appearance, performance, or societal expectations, but rather to the simple yet profound capacity to experience joy. The act of masturbation provides an intimate pathway for rediscovering the body's potential for pleasure, serving as a vital tool for self-awareness and self-knowledge. For many, especially as they age, the body can feel increasingly alien or unfamiliar, with its changing contours, desires, and limitations. Masturbation allows individuals to explore their desires, their pleasures, and their unique physicality in a personal and private way. It becomes an act of exploration, a journey toward greater self-understanding, one that acknowledges the intricacies of the body, both its limitations and its enduring capacity for joy. This process of self-discovery is not bound by age. It transcends the physical changes that come with time. But for those in their later years, this journey of rediscovery takes on new significance. As the body changes, learning to honor and care for it in its current form can be incredibly empowering. Masturbation allows older adults to understand and appreciate their bodies anew, embracing the pleasures that still reside there, rather than focusing on what may have been lost. In a world where so much of aging is associated with a loss of control, whether it's the ability to perform certain tasks, the decline in health, or societal messages that diminish the elderly, masturbation can serve as a deeply personal, empowering act of reclaiming control. For many, their bodies may no longer function as they once did, and the limitations that come with aging can feel overwhelmingly restricting. Yet masturbation offers a reminder that, despite the changes, control is still very much within reach. It offers older adults a space to reconnect with themselves, emotionally and physically, reaffirming that their capacity for pleasure has not diminished but merely evolved. Even in a world that often diminishes the elderly, masturbation remains a profound way to affirm one's value, worth, and vitality. It becomes a reminder that aging does not erase the capacity to feel alive, to feel joy, or to feel pleasure. However, like any powerful tool, masturbation requires a balanced approach, especially as individuals grow older. While it offers many psychological and emotional benefits, it is important to engage with it mindfully and with moderation. In some cases, Excessive masturbation may lead to overstimulation, causing temporary hypersensitivity, which could alter the way pleasure is experienced. For some, this might mean that the intensity needed to achieve the same level of satisfaction increases, potentially leading to frustration or a diminished sense of fulfillment. What once brought joy may begin to feel less satisfying, creating a cycle that undermines the sense of empowerment and control that masturbation once provided. This is why moderation is key. By listening to the body and adjusting as needed, older adults can continue to benefit from the act of masturbation without falling into patterns that lead to frustration or emotional disconnection. Emotionally, there is also the risk that masturbation can evolve into a form of escapism, particularly as the emotional complexities of aging take hold. Loneliness, depression, and anxiety are common challenges in later life, and for some, masturbation may become a temporary source of comfort or relief from these difficult emotions. While it can provide a fleeting sense of solace, relying solely on masturbation as an emotional outlet can become problematic. It may provide a momentary distraction from loneliness or sadness, but it does not replace the need for human connection, affection, and support. If masturbation becomes the primary or only way to cope with emotional discomfort, it can reinforce feelings of isolation and detachment, further pushing individuals away from seeking the companionship and emotional support that are critical for well-being. Therefore, it is essential to approach masturbation with a sense of balance and awareness, integrating it into a broader approach to aging that prioritizes connection, both with oneself and with others. While masturbation can offer a powerful tool for reclaiming joy and pleasure, it should not replace the importance of emotional intimacy, companionship, and love. In embracing this balance, older adults can continue to experience self-empowerment, personal joy, and emotional fulfillment in ways that enhance their overall well-being. By nurturing both physical self-care and emotional connections with others, they can continue to experience the full spectrum of pleasure, connection, and self-worth, no matter their age. In the end, masturbation is more than just a physical act. It is a way for older adults to reconnect with their bodies, reaffirm their sense of agency, and celebrate the enduring power of self-love and self-awareness. Through this act, they can rediscover joy, comfort, and pleasure, not as something fleeting, but as an enduring part of who they are. Aging does not erase one's worth or capacity for pleasure. Instead, it enriches the experience of joy, transforming it into a deeper, more nuanced appreciation for the body and all it has given. Social isolation is an ever-growing and deeply troubling issue faced by many elderly individuals, often intensified by the gradual erosion of family bonds and the shrinking of social circles. As time passes, the relationships that once provided a sense of purpose, security, and belonging can fade, leaving many seniors to grapple with the haunting sting of loneliness. In the absence of consistent human interaction, the pull of isolation can become irresistible, and far too easily, individuals retreat into the silence of their own homes, withdrawing from the world around them. This sense of abandonment becomes even more pronounced when masturbation, often seen as a solitary form of comfort, becomes the primary means of emotional solace. At first, it may feel like a simple escape, an act that offers temporary relief from the weight of emotional isolation. Yet, while this solitary act might provide an immediate sense of gratification, it can gradually deepen the emotional chasm, perpetuating a sense of detachment from others. What begins as an empowering and seemingly harmless act can transform into a barrier, making it progressively harder to seek out the meaningful, fulfilling human connections that can truly nourish the soul. The truth that many elders face, though painful to acknowledge, is that the need for connection remains just as strong as it did in their youth. The human heart, regardless of age, yearns for intimacy, affection, and companionship. The emotional, physical, and social bonds that sustain us throughout life do not wither simply because we grow older. On the contrary, they become even more vital as we age. Masturbation, when practiced mindfully and in moderation, can serve as a healthy tool for maintaining a connection with one's body, allowing a person to feel self-assured and empowered in their skin. It can be a form of self-care that reinforces autonomy, helping individuals reclaim control over their physical selves. However, this act should never serve as a replacement for the much deeper, infinitely more rewarding connections that human relationships can provide. Humans, by nature, are social creatures, and despite the ravages of age, we continue to thrive on the bonds we share with others. Whether it's the loving embrace of a partner, the nurturing care of family, or the understanding camaraderie of friends. The emotional support that stems from these relationships is irreplaceable, and without it, the human spirit can become starved of the warmth and connection it so desperately needs. Yes, masturbation can foster self-love and self-awareness, and for many older adults, it offers a means of pleasure, emotional release, and even empowerment. It can allow someone to explore their own body, enjoy their presence, and rediscover aspects of themselves that they may have forgotten. In this sense, it's a powerful and intimate act that nurtures an individual's sense of worth. Yet, when it becomes the primary or even sole form of emotional or physical satisfaction, it can lead to an unhealthy imbalance in life. True well-being in later years is cultivated through a harmony between self-care and relational care. If masturbation becomes a dominant focus, it can slowly drain the motivation to engage in the things that nourish our emotional and social health. Spending time with loved ones, reaching out for meaningful companionship, and participating in the richness of life that comes from social interaction. When a person chooses to isolate themselves emotionally, it becomes harder to step outside that bubble, creating a vicious cycle that only deepens the sense of loneliness and diminishes the person's overall quality of life. The emotional, physical, and psychological impacts of this isolation are far-reaching. Studies have shown that while masturbation can have health benefits, such as reducing stress, improving sleep, and boosting mood, it must be carefully balanced with other forms of social, emotional, and physical engagement. In particular, for individuals in romantic relationships, excessive masturbation can be particularly damaging, not just to one's emotional well-being, but to the relationship itself. When self-pleasure becomes a regular and preferred activity, it can slowly replace the desire for intimacy with a partner, eroding the connection that partners have built over time. This replacement of physical closeness with self-indulgence can lead to emotional distancing, where one partner feels rejected, unloved, or unimportant. As the emotional gap widens, the relationship itself may suffer, leading to dissatisfaction, frustration, and, in some cases, resentment. This emotional disconnect can be especially devastating in later life when companionship becomes more crucial than ever. At this stage of life, shared love and affection, the gentle touch of a partner, and deep emotional connections become pillars of our health and happiness, and when these are neglected or replaced with solitary habits, the result is a profound sense of loss. Even for those who live alone, where masturbation may fulfill some emotional and sexual needs, the risks of excessive self-stimulation cannot be ignored. For many, it becomes the default mechanism for seeking comfort, intimacy, and emotional satisfaction. However, while it may temporarily soothe, it does little to fulfill the deeper emotional cravings that only true companionship can satisfy. This is particularly critical for those in their later years, as the need for emotional connection only intensifies with age. The absence of this emotional intimacy, whether from family, friends, or a romantic partner, can foster feelings of emptiness, sadness, and even despair, undermining the person's overall quality of life. However, balance is key. Masturbation, when approached with moderation and mindfulness, can remain a healthy and rewarding part of one's self-care routine, even in older adulthood. It can help reduce stress, alleviate discomfort, and maintain sexual vitality, contributing positively to both mental and physical health. But this must always be balanced with a rich tapestry of relationships that nurture the heart and soul. In later life, intimacy, both physical and emotional, is essential to the sense of fulfillment in a relationship. It strengthens the bond between partners, reinforcing feelings of love, security, and support. Masturbation, when practiced in balance with these essential connections, can enhance well-being without overshadowing the deep, emotional fulfillment that comes from being emotionally available and physically connected to another person. Intimacy, shared laughter, and affectionate touch are what bring joy and vitality to relationships, and they should never be sacrificed in favor of solitary acts. Furthermore, the benefits of practicing mindful masturbation, in moderation, are undeniable. Research has consistently shown that it can enhance mood, relieve tension, improve sleep quality, and maintain sexual health, benefits that are particularly important as we age. Regular self-pleasure helps keep the body's sexual energy in balance, ensuring that sexual organs continue to function optimally, while also contributing to blood circulation and pelvic health. For men, this can lower the risk of prostate issues, while women may experience improved vaginal health. Thus, masturbation, when done mindfully, can be an important component of maintaining physical well-being as one age. However, it should never be viewed as a replacement for the emotional richness that comes from meaningful, human connections. The vitality of our relationships and the love we share with others are the true wellsprings of happiness in later life, and those connections should be cherished, nurtured, and prioritized. In conclusion, while masturbation can serve as a positive, self-affirming form of self-care, it must always exist alongside the deeply fulfilling connections we create with others. For older adults, these relationships become even more vital, as they provide emotional support, physical intimacy, and a sense of belonging that simply cannot be replaced. The key is balance. Nurturing a healthy, mindful relationship with one's own body while also fostering meaningful, loving relationships with others. By maintaining this balance, older individuals can continue to thrive, enjoying both the health benefits of self-care and the emotional richness that comes from deep, loving connections with the people who matter most. Masturbation, when approached mindfully and without guilt, can serve as a powerful tool for enhancing body awareness, self-esteem, and emotional well-being. It offers an intimate opportunity to connect with our bodies, allowing us to explore and experience pleasure in a deeply personal way. For many, it affirms that sexuality is a natural, beautiful, and essential part of who we are, regardless of age. As we grow older, embracing our sexuality and physicality becomes an act of self-love, reclaiming power over our bodies. For older individuals, maintaining a healthy sense of bodily autonomy and sexual pleasure can become a source of profound empowerment, instilling confidence and a sense of vitality. This empowerment can help counteract the inevitable challenges of aging, allowing individuals to face this natural process with grace, without the weight of shame or discomfort. However, there is a delicate balance. Regular physical activity, such as walking, strength training, or cardiovascular exercise, is crucial for maintaining mobility, strength, and heart health as we age. These activities help us prevent falls, improve balance, and sharpen mental clarity, all contributing to a richer, fuller life. Yet, when masturbation becomes excessive, it can inadvertently diminish our motivation to engage in these life-enhancing practices. The result can be a gradual decline in physical health, mobility, and quality of life, an outcome we must be mindful of as we navigate our later years. It's essential to recognize how our behaviors can impact not only our physical health, but also the way we interact with and engage in the world around us. For older individuals in relationships, the role of masturbation becomes even more complex. While many seniors live alone and turn to masturbation to fulfill their sexual needs, those in relationships may find that frequent self-pleasure becomes a barrier to mutual intimacy. Instead of fostering closeness and connection, excessive masturbation may inadvertently create emotional distance, reducing the desire for shared physical touch and emotional bonding. This distance can be particularly challenging for couples who rely on each other for emotional and physical support, especially as they age together. Intimacy in later life often serves as a cornerstone for emotional health, nurturing a bond that sustains couples through life's ups and downs. The absence of this shared connection can lead to feelings of loneliness, dissatisfaction, and even resentment, creating a fracture in what should be a source of deep comfort and fulfillment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. The emotional and psychological effects of excessive masturbation are particularly intricate for individuals who have grown up in environments where sexuality was either repressed or viewed with shame. For many older adults, engaging in masturbation can trigger a flood of complex emotions: guilt, embarrassment, and even self-loathing. These feelings are often rooted in internalized beliefs or cultural messages that have long equated sexual pleasure with something sinful or immoral. For those who have spent years navigating these burdens, the weight of these emotions can be overwhelming. They can manifest as anxiety, diminished self-worth, or even depression, creating emotional turmoil that impacts not only their sexual experiences but their overall mental health. It is vital to remind ourselves that sexuality is a natural and beautiful part of life at any age. There is no inherent shame in seeking pleasure, whether alone or with a partner. For those who struggle with feelings of guilt or shame surrounding their sexuality, therapy or counseling can be a transformative avenue for healing. A skilled therapist can help individuals unpack these deeply ingrained emotions, allowing them to rewrite the narrative surrounding their sexual experiences. Through professional guidance, older adults can develop a healthier, more compassionate relationship with their bodies and desires, free from judgment or repression. Engaging in these conversations, whether with a therapist or a trusted loved one, can bring about greater emotional clarity and self-acceptance. It's through this exploration that we can learn to embrace our sexual selves with pride and understanding, leading to more fulfilling, authentic relationships. Therapy and support groups provide invaluable spaces for older adults to navigate feelings of isolation, guilt, or loneliness, helping them to reconnect with life in meaningful ways and cultivate deep, enriching connections with others. As we reflect on everything we've discussed today, we realize how essential it is to embrace our sexuality, our bodies, and our emotional well-being at every stage of life. It's important to be kind to ourselves, to seek pleasure without guilt, and to recognize the profound impact our self-awareness and intimacy can have on our relationships and overall health. So, what have you learned so far? What resonated with you the most? I invite you to comment below, sharing one thing you've learned today and how you plan to bring it into practice in your own life. Your thoughts and reflections are valuable to this community, and I would love to hear what you're taking away from this video. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world, and it helps us continue to create valuable content for you. Thank you for being part of this journey with us.